After the long, uncomfortable process of getting into Rikers Island, they assign you to a building. Your age decides where you go. Me, I was 16, so they put me in C-74, where all the adolescents were housed. Then they sent me to a unit they call the Sprungs. It looked like one of those big white bubbles they use for ice skating rinks. That's where they give you your bunk and a netted bag with your essentials, one roll of toilet paper, a tiny tube of toothpaste, a toothbrush, and a little piece of soap. When you first walk into that big white tent, it's just rows and rows of beds, packed tight, almost like a homeless shelter. Then there's this area where the COs, aka correctional officers, sit at their desks. They call it the bubble. Right next to the bubble are a couple of phones you can use when they're actually available. And when mail came, you'd see this huge crowd of inmates all bunched up in front of the bubble, just waiting for a CO to yell out their last name. I was always getting called up because I had my girlfriend, my mom, my sister, and my friends all writing to me. There was also this small area they called the day room. It had one TV mounted way up high, like 15 feet in the air, so nobody could mess with the channel or the volume. In the day room, you'd find a couple round plastic tables, usually with guys playing cards or dominoes, and a bunch of plastic chairs scattered around. The day after I got to Rikers, I went outside for rec time. I love basketball, but I didn't want to just jump in a game. Nah, I wanted to see how things worked in there first, get a feel for the place. So, I just sat by myself on the bleachers, watching the guys play in the yard. Out of nowhere, this Puerto Rican kid comes and sits right next to me. He asks me what I'm in for. I tell him, and he's like, "Aw man, you're gonna be here for a while." Then he asked me to come sit with him and his friends. I didn't want to say no, so I went with him. Part of me was thinking, hey, maybe if people see I'm not alone, they'll think I'm cool and won't mess with me because they know I am with them. About 2 days later, after hanging out with them, I started noticing something was off. Some of them were acting different, but I just told myself I was imagining things. That night, I'm lying on my bunk, probably praying to get out of there, when I see something out of the corner of my eye. It was the same Puerto Rican kid, crawling on his hands and knees between the bunks, coming straight for me. I squinted my eyes, pretending to be asleep, trying to see what he was gonna do. As he got closer, my heart started pounding. There were no other bunks behind mine, so I knew he was coming for me. When he finally got to my bunk, I saw him reach for my Grand Hill sneakers that I had tucked underneath my bed. I was too scared to say anything, but something just made me turn over in my bed. He froze, then he got up and walked away, acting like he was just heading to the bathroom. I was so freaked out. I didn't sleep at all that night. My nerves were shot. I just sat there watching my sneakers, and then it all clicked. From the very first moment he sat next to me in the yard, his whole plan was to steal my sneakers. After that day, I slept with my sneakers on for the rest of my time there. I never said a word to him about it. I just kept my distance from him and his whole crew. That whole thing really messed with me. My dad always repped Puerto Rico hard, and he raised us to be proud of our culture. I wanted to tell him what happened, but I never did. Over time, I started to see how grimy people could be, how they prey on the innocence of 16-year-old kids who are new to the system. And that became my biggest life lesson. Never trust anyone. It doesn't matter what their country is, their ethnicity, race, religion, or the color of their skin. You can't trust anyone. Thanks for listening to my story. If you can relate or found this interesting, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Peace.